Welcome to another episode of Drunk Guys on Chick Flicks, the podcast that at least one reviewer is called Not Very Good.
Is that real?
Well, I mean, there's that one-star rating on iTunes.
It burns me a little bit, but it's also
It's motivation.
fine.
It's fine. No one cares.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Matt, and with me, as always, is your co-host, Garrett.
Hi, I'm Garrett.
He's right there. Look at him.
Every time.
Every time.
What are we watching this week, Matt?
We're watching Enchanted. And Garrett, why are we watching Enchanted?
We're watching Enchanted because you won the bet.
And Garrett, why did I win the bet? Because you're bad at everything. Here we go. Enchanted's from the year 2007.
I won like a couple.
No, it's okay. I think the majority of the wins have gone to me.
I think I'm a good person.
Well, that's remained to be seen.
I'm good at chess.
No, you're not good at chess.
I'm good at... Oh, God.
Yeah, bad. The movie's from 2007. The director is Kevin Lima, who has directed such gems as A Goofy Movie, Tarzan, and 102 Dalmatians.
So that is actually a wonderful segue for when you first told me we were watching this movie. My first question was, is that really a chick flick? Because I remember it being like, I've never seen this movie, but I remember it being like, I don't know, it's kind of juvenile, right? It's like there's where there's animated shit in it and stuff, right? Like, I mean, just in that sense. Like, I remember seeing this originally and being like, oh, that's like a Cinderella story.
Sure, I mean,
with
there's
like
animated stuff
shit
in more adult movies.
No, I understand that. And then we kind of looked it up, and it's listed on all these lists of quote unquote chick flicks.
Great
like,
chick flicks, bad
like
chick
top
flicks.
100,
It's just kind of all
like,
over the place.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I'm down to watch it. I'm definitely stoked about it.
You have to be down to watch it because I picked it and I won the bet, so you had no choice.
Who stars in this movie?
Well, it's also written, by Bill Kelly, who also wrote movies such as Blast from the Past and Premonition. That's really it. These are the only three movies he's written.
Oh, Blast from the Past. I actually love Blast from the Past.
Right, but I'm saying you got 3 movies under your belt. That's it.
Premonition. I don't think I've seen Premonition. But Blast from the Past is actually like really.
That's the Brendan Fraser joint, right?
Yeah, and Lisa Silverstone and
not Reese Witherspoon.
No, it's Lisa Silverstone and it's Christopher Walken is like his dad. That's a great movie. I don't know if that would be on our list, but
we'll have to look it up.
Yeah, we'll have to check that
out. The movie stars Amy Adams, Patrick Dempsey, the Dumpsey, James Marsden, Idina Menzel, and Julie Andrews.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually like that's a pretty solid cast. Yeah,
it's mid 2000s.
Like earlier Amy Adams, right?
Yeah, she hadn't really done really big stuff yet.
Okay, I think we looked at it was
Talladega Nights was kind of before this. She did like a bunch of TV work. She was in like The Office and stuff.
Oh, her on The Office was before this?
Yeah.
She's like Jim's kind of girlfriend for a brief
4
bit.
episodes, I believe.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. And James Marsden, the like Cyclops from
X-Men? Think this is definitely post Cyclops.
Yeah.
Because X-Men was 2001.
Yeah, they started early.
Yeah.
And he's also in one of my favorite movies.
He's in Westworld, which is fucking incredible.
But Disturbing Behavior. You ever see Disturbing Behavior?
I don't think I've ever seen Disturbing
Behavior.
Behavior.
Him and Katie Holmes and Nick Stahl.
Nick Stahl?
He played John Connor in the 3rd Terminator movie. We don't have to...
Wait, Terminator 3 or Terminator like Genesis?
No, Terminator 3.
Gen YCs.
Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines.
I've never seen that movie.
It's not great, but he's in it.
Okay.
Anyway.
Fair enough.
But I mean, I really like this cast. I really like all of them.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Amy Adams.
I love Amy Adams.
Did you watch Sharp Objects on HBO?
I did not.
Is
that the one where she like goes home and it's like a weird situation or...
Yeah, she like lives in St. Louis and then she goes to like her home to her rural like town where she's from, where her mom kind of like weirdly runs the town and there's like murders going on. It's awesome. You should watch it. I highly recommend it. It's like really, and she's great in it. It's like
St. Louis Misery.
Misery, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We love our St. Louis listeners.
Hey. So I just in connection with it being Enchanted. Right.
Yeah.
I know nothing about this movie, but it's the name is Enchanted. I think it's some sort of Cinderella type story or some fairy tale type thing.
I mean, there's definitely a fairy tale type situation.
And the name would lead you to believe that there's some sort of magic.
Magic.
Right? Some flying and magic.
I love all the flying and the magic.
So this week's beer is Single Cut Breweries.
What was that word?
Brewery. Single Cut Breweries, Softly Spoken Magic Spells.
My favorite beer on the planet.
It's like one of my favorite beers too. It's not even a little bit out of our wheelhouse. It's a double IPA from Single Cut, which is in Astoria, Queens.
Yes,
right?
They just opened a new location upstate somewhere too.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah. They're an awesome brewery, and
we've spent many a day there.
And this is a spectacular beer, so we kind of lucked out with the connection. Not really trying anything new though, so we apologize there. Although
Although,
I don't know. I was gonna say, although, like, we'll describe the beer after the fact.
yeah,
But,
we'll get to it later.
Yeah.
Um,
Any trivia?
Listen, there was a lot of like very light trivia on here, but let's see. At least 3 Disney princess voices make a physical appearance in this movie. Jodie Benson, who played Ariel, Little Mermaid, is in this movie. Paige O'Hara, who played Belle in Beauty and the Beast, is in this movie. And Judy Kuhn, Kuhn, Kuhn. I don't know. She played Pocahontas. She's also in this movie physically, which is I thought that was pretty interesting. It's a Disney movie. They recruited there's a lot of Disney stuff in here. There's a hidden Mickey somewhere, which I don't.
This is a Disney movie.
I think so.
Right?
I mean, I believe so.
We'll double check that.
Yeah.
I think this is a Disney movie.
I'm 98%.
I mean, plus if those cameos are in there, it would lead you to believe that. I wonder if we'll be able to tell when that's happening
because of the animation style. Because Disney has a very distinct animation style.
Oh no, I'm saying.
When they show up.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's going to be a point where there's a woman speaking on the screen, and we're going to be like, oh, Ariel.
Got it.
I'm wondering.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that reflex memory of being a kid and watching those movies a million times, if I'll recognize those voices. So I'm kind of curious to see there.
Sure, I mean they were voice actors, so you would think maybe they put on something for who knows? Maybe we'll see. We'll let you know if we find them.
Yeah, if not, we'll for sure look them up.
Another piece is over 300 actresses or actor. I guess what is it? Actors or actresses now? I think it's actors.
It's just actors.
Okay, over 300 actors or audition for the lead
now.
And
you
whatever. I mean,
you sound like my grandpa. What do they call them now?
I am your grandpa.
That'd be nuts.
Weird, right? Over 300 actors auditioned for the lead, and Amy Adams was number 275 to audition.
So, that doesn't mean she's the 275th choice.
No, that would be fucking insane.
All right, 274 women have said no to this role.
Oh, God. Julie Andrews said no. We'll put her in the background somewhere.
Jesus. Yeah. This is another role that Julia Roberts has turned down.
And what else? Weird Al was once considered to write all the music for the movie, which I think is fucking awesome.
It's awesome as a fact, but it would have been terrible as a thing.
No, what do you mean? Like eat it and fat and smells like smells like Nirvana.
Yeah, no, I know.
He does a thing with the accordion and he's in the polka. It's really okay. And the last thing that is not really trivia, but I thought was interesting, is that apparently a sequel's been announced. I don't know in what capacity, but it's called Disenchanted, and it's somewhere in the pipeline.
Okay. We don't have any details.
I have zero details on that.
We don't know for how long it's been in the pipeline, where the pipeline's located, how long said pipeline is,
where the pipeline leads to,
where it starts, for that matter.
Yeah, none of it.
Hate it.
What it's made of.
Hate it. Hate not knowing.
Never know. I never know anything.
So
did we come up with a bet for this?
I think so.
Okay, because we do a lot of numbers bets, and I kind of wanted to get away from numbers bets.
I mean, at least for now, I think that's something we have to do sometimes.
Okay,
but
fair enough. What do you have? What do you have in that old pipeline?
So I think this will work out, but I might presumably
presumptuously.
That's not right.
What?
So my only knowledge of this movie is that Amy Adams is a princess from the animated realm or whatever, some other fairy fantasy fairyland sort of is it
there's a name for the land. I don't know what it is.
Whatever it is, some fantastical land, right? Where fairies and unicorns and stuff live, right?
It's Andalasia. So, say Andalasia.
She's from Andalasia.
Okay, now go ahead.
And so there's one of two ways this ends, right? She either stays in the real world, or she goes back to Andalasia
with her whoever she ends up with, which I don't
think it's. I don't know if it's James Marsden or if it's
I would imagine it's probably Marsden.
McDreamy.
Listen, out of the two of them that that Dumpsey is gonna be the douchebag of the two.
Patty Dumps.
Patty Dumps.
So good, right? Okay, so the bet is, I'm saying, because I get to bet first, because I lost last week.
You sure did, folks.
Oh God, I am betting that she goes back to the fantasy land of Andalasia,
Is it like the Andals Islands and like Asia put together?
Yeah. So the bet is that she goes back
Well-
with or without, like, because we don't know who she ends up with.
I have an argument with this. I had an argument with this just because I was like, well, there's only really two sides, and if we had the same thought, then we genuinely think different things.
So would you bet the same thing that I just bet?
No. I'm saying that I would imagine they would stay in the real world.
And is that your choice, or are you saying that because it's the only option left?
No, I'm saying that's because it's my choice.
'Cause
I would actually believe that that's what it is.
If you were going to say the same thing as me, we could just come up with another bet.
No.
This is it.
This is it.
We're good.
Yeah. So you're saying that her and whoever her paramour is at the end of the movie will end up back in Andalasia.
Well, I'm saying simplify it. Just either she ends up in Andalasia or she ends up in the real world.
Right.
Like, we're not betting on who she's with or if she's with anyone or whatever.
Right. Okay. So you're saying Andalasia. I'm saying real world.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Real World Road Rules Challenge 2018.
Now it's just the challenge. I think it's just called the challenge. Or it was like years ago, like a couple years back now.
Because they got rid of Real World and Road Rules?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I've never known. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So you said back in Andalasia, I said Real World. Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. What else do we have? Nothing. All right. Ready?
That's really it.
You want to watch the movie?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're going to watch along, pause us here, and we're sorry for whatever happens next.
And we'll see you on the other side of the movie.
I hate you.
And we're back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't love this, didn't you?
I liked it. Did you like it?
I thought it was very mediocre.
I was super on board until like the last 10 minutes, and then it like really lost me. I stopped taking notes.
Yeah, me too. I thought it was aggressively medium.
I thought there was a lot of really cute shit, really funny shit.
Right. I wrote down that I thought that this movie was for all the people who like grew up on Disney movies.
Yeah, that was actually a thing that I noted too. Like I couldn't tell at first whether or not it was supposed to be kind of like a kid's movie or whether it was supposed to be kind of like a romantic comedy. I think it's a romantic comedy aimed at people who grew up watching Sleeping Beauty, Snow White,
Little Mermaid, all that. Yeah.
All that shit.
Agreed. I think that it's all like, all of like the tropes are done very tongue in cheek. Like everything is like supposed to be like, oh, you know why this is happening.
Yeah, but I also think if you were like a little kid watching it, you wouldn't like appreciate it.
Right, of course.
So I think
because if you're a little kid watching it, you're just accepting it as the trope.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, broad strokes, it was good. It was fine. I didn't dislike it at all. I would say I actually liked it a bit, but it kind of lost me.
It definitely lost me. Both of us at the end were like, "Oh, were you paying attention?" Not so much.
Right. One of the first things I want to address is the glaring miss cast-wise when we were noting the cast in the beginning.
Yeah, we missed both Susan Sarandon and man, I can't remember his name for the life of me. Hang on, it's here somewhere.
Who are you talking about? Wormtail?
Wormtail. I can't think of his actual name for the life of me.
Timothy something.
Timothy Spall.
Timothy Spall, who plays Wormtail in the Harry Potter movies.
He's in everything.
No, but I'm just saying, like,
right.
the most notably, I would say, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Susan Sarandon as like the evil stepmother / evil witch enemy lady.
Queen. Bitch.
Okay. Well, that was a lot. So it's a lot of Snow White and Sleeping Beauty and like the beginning.
It's a lot of Snow White and Sleeping Beauty throughout. Like, there's the whole poison apple and the whole falling into a coma at the end.
And the dragon. She turns into the dragon. That's Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah,
right?
It's very Sleeping Beauty.
Let's see.
I don't know. I kind of felt like the movie, there was a lot, like, the movie was an hour and a half, right?
Like an hour 45, yeah.
And I felt like a lot of nothing happened.
Yeah, it was a lot
That's
of
kind
nothing.
of what, like, that's how I felt.
Yeah, it was kind of like, look at this cute comparison to all these old Disney movies. Look at this cute comparison to these old Disney movies.
Right.
Here's a music number.
Look at
this cute comparison to.
Right.
Another movie that makes New York City look beautiful. Like, really cool and beautiful for the most part. There's a couple parts where she's like, where it's supposed to seem like she's lost and scared and whatever, where it makes it maybe look a little like darker and scarier.
When she first like pops into New York and she like ends up in Times Square or whatever, and like they try to make Times Square look like busy and whatever, I don't know, crowded, and like I'm just looking at it just being like, Times Square is 10 times more crowded and more busy than this on any given day ever.
Right.
And she ends up, that's the other thing, she like gets carried off into the subway in her initial whatever introduction to the city and ends up in the Bowery, which whatever. It's a long way south from Times Square, but beyond that,
Matt, you are so city.
She didn't have a goddamn Metro card. How did she get there? She jumped the turnstiles. Turnstiles.
Yeah, it's turnstile.
But anyway, she gets to the Bowery, and again, there is no one in the streets.
Yeah, that's another thing generally with a lot of these movies, like any movie, not just like within this genre, but like a lot of city movies like have scenes where they're like going through these really iconic sections of the city, going by like the Empire State Building or Flatiron or whatever, like, and shit's just empty.
Yeah, there's no one around.
Anytime, like nothing is ever that empty ever in Manhattan. I feel like it's just like
there's constantly people out.
There's constantly someone, if not many someones, just around always. Someone's probably peeing.
Definitely
like
peeing.
There's like there are smells, there are people pushing, there is like rudeness happening, like there's just like masses
hanging out on doorsteps.
Yeah,
smoking a doobie.
What is it? What are you?
What's a doobie?
Yeah,
it's a marijuana cigarette.
Oh, like when you roll it up.
When you roll up and smoke like a cigarette. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of flat. So basically, the love interest played by McDreamy.
I want to take a step back here because I actually thought that like the love interest of the movie would have been what's his name?
James Marsden.
James Marsden,
the Prince Charming guy who follows her from the animated realm.
Right. I thought he would have been the guy in the real world, playing like your everyman New Yorker, and that Patrick Dempsey would have been like the smarmy like prince coming from like the animated world. And it was the exact opposite. And honestly, if this movie had done it the way I said just now, like, you know, Patrick Dempsey being the prince and Marsden being the everyman, I would have liked it more.
You like if the characters were playing each other's roles.
Every time I see Dempsey, I just get mad. I just think he's like this. It's mean. It's a mean thing to say.
He's got an asshole face.
He's got an asshole face.
He's got an asshole face.
He's a douchey guy.
Yeah, I understand that he's a handsome man, and I appreciate. He's a handsome guy, and I appreciate that on Grey's Anatomy he was like the guy.
McSteamy.
He's the guy.
McDreamy.
But he's got an asshole face. I think he's got an asshole face.
He's got an asshole. Every time I look at him, I just get mad.
Yeah, it's fine. He's a love interest. He's the guy in the real world. He plays a divorce lawyer, so that's obviously it's literally the antithesis of like who the Amy Adams character Giselle starts out as in the animated world, right? She's like the epitome of love and hopefulness and all this shit.
Right,
like,
she falls in love with her prince in one day and gets married, is betrothed to him.
And that's like her ideal, right? She's like, you know, this is what you do, like when her character starts out, and he's literally the antithesis of that. He's literally like, he makes a living separating people from other people.
Right, exactly.
like dividing estates of former lovers.
He's just a gross, stinky lawyer.
Yeah, he's the worst. But he is not engaged, but he's gonna propose to someone, and they like make it very clear that he's like not married and like not yet engaged, but he's seeing
and that
someone.
He kind of sees like the whole thing as like a contract almost. He said like in a couple times throughout the movie that he like doesn't believe in like true love and like blah blah blah.
Right, very fitting with like him being the opposite of the Giselle character. You know,
right.
he's like, oh, well, love is a fantasy, it's a construct, whatever.
Right.
He also has a 6-year-old daughter.
I actually don't remember her character's name at all.
I think Morgan, which is such like a
little kid's name.
Well, it's just I feel like so many shows and movies are like, all right, little girl.
Boy Meets World.
Boy, yeah, nailed it. Yeah, done. For like probably the most shining example. But yeah, so he's got a 6-year-old daughter.
Oh, before we go any farther, how about just in general, 3 sentences? What's the plot of this movie?
Animated Disney princess comes to real world. That's one.
Okay.
Meets man who doesn't believe in love.
Meets man? What does he do?
That's 2. Learns I don't know, learns some stuff about the real world, but also teaches man from real world that love, like true love exists, and they fall in love.
All
It was
right.
sloppy, but
it was a little sloppy.
But it was there.
All right. Okay.
What do you got? 3 sentences go.
Idyllic princess from fantasy world comes to real world. That's 1 sentence.
Basically the same.
Right.
Basically the same.
Yeah, basically the same.
Okay.
Is befuddled by real world. What is it? Not constructs, but like real world situations, and finds a person to teach her the ways of the real world. The real world.
Is that 2 still?
Yeah, it's 2. I hate what I actually hate you. You've already won.
You've got one more.
Yeah. Against everyone's better judgment, falls in love with the real world man, and thus, no, you won. I couldn't do this.
Against everyone's
I
better
don't know,
judgment?
dude. I gotta tell you, this beer kind of really knocked me on my ass.
Yeah, I feel like you're drunk.
I'm very drunk.
I was gonna ask you a minute, like, hey,
are you okay?
You're really drunk?
I'm pretty drunk.
Wow.
This, I mean, since we're on it, let's talk about the beer.
Okay.
The beer, I mean...
We love this beer.
We love this
Spoken
beer.
Magic Spells is a great beer.
It's a double. I had a couple.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time right now.
You look like... You sound and look as though you're having a harder time than me, at least.
Oh, that's fair.
I'm having a great time.
Are you having a great time? With
I'm
me?
having a great
Or just in general?
I don't know. I mean, like with you.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah, we're
cool.
friends and stuff.
Are
That's
we
good.
friends? Okay. I don't know. It's delicious. It's hard. It's not like a very hoppy beer. It's
That's pretty sweet.
It's pretty sweet.
kind of-
It's very
kind of
easy
juicy.
drinking,
Yeah.
which makes it fucking dangerous.
Yeah, it doesn't taste boozy.
Right.
Like even a little bit.
It'll get you. It sneaks up on you.
Like if you had 12 of them, like
Well, you would be dead.
No, but like at your disposal.
Oh, okay.
You would like drink as many of them as you could before you fell asleep, probably.
Right. And then when you woke up the next morning, you would be in dire straits.
You'd be a dead guy.
Right. You'd
Yeah,
be
you'd be a
in
dead guy
dire
when you
straits
woke
for a
up,
long
yeah.
time.
So, that's
I'm okay.
Are you actually?
Nope.
Okay. Wow. So, yeah, I mean, but that's roughly the plot. Like, she's a cartoon, and then she goes to the not cartoon world. She meets a guy who's the opposite of her, and they're kind of like dancing around each other. It doesn't seem. It's not glaringly obvious that they're going to fall in love and
Right.
end
It's
up
another
with each
one of
other.
those like quote unquote love stories that feels a little unearned by the end. Like it kind of at the end, like they're like, so I mean, whatever spoilers, but like it's like, oh, true love's kiss, and he goes to like the prince goes to kiss her, and nothing happens, and then Dempsey goes to kiss her. And I'm just like, okay, but like, did they fall in love? When? At what point did they actually fall in love?
I think it was like a real slow burn, Matt.
Was it? Because I don't think they were there for more than a couple of days.
No, they kind of dance around
Don't
each other.
look at me like I'm an asshole.
You're very drunk.
I'm a little drunk.
It's good. So they kind of dance around each other, but to me, it didn't seem like they were going to end up with each other. And then James Marsden, her prince from the cartoon world, like comes through and he's looking for her. And
he's not an asshole, which is another thing. Like you would think like the prince from like the animated world would be this smarmy guy that like she shies away from in the long run, but like not really.
he's just kind of like a shallow character.
Right.
He's not a bad guy, but there's
No.
nothing much to him other than like, I'm the prince. And
Right.
this is what we do.
Exactly.
We will be wed tomorrow. Like they meet and then he goes, we will be wed tomorrow. It's like, it's silly. I don't know. But he goes to the real world and he's chasing after her. And then Wormtail comes through. He's sent by Susan Sarandon, the evil witch, to come try to stop him from finding her, to try to stop James Marsden from finding Amy Adams.
It's all a little like vague. At one point at the beginning of the movie, it says because she doesn't want him marrying anybody else.
Yeah, it is really unclear. So it suggests that Susan Sarandon is in love with James Marsden, and then at some point later on, you realize that she is his stepmother.
Right. So my question here is she actually in love with him, or is it that she doesn't want him falling in love with someone else because when they get married, that he would take over power from her?
It's wildly unclear.
Right.
I had the impression the entire time that it was because Susan Sarandon wanted that.
So did I.
Wanted that guy, you know.
Who didn't want that
and then
guy?
Wormtail is in love with her, so he kind of does all of her bidding.
In a very bumbling manner.
Yeah, he's actually probably one of the funnier parts of the movie though, when he keeps dressing up in different costumes to try to get her to take the poison apple.
Yeah.
Like, it's silly as shit, but it's like pretty good. at one point he's dressed up as like the Italian guy in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And he goes to smack the chipmunk off of her, and he's like, okay, dokie. Like that was, I laughed hard. I laughed. But yeah, basically like it's Amy Adams. Like it's kind of like fish out of water, right? It's like a fish out of water sort of thing. Yeah. Like she's like she has no idea how the real world works, but she also, it's cartoony, and she has this cartoonish like charm about her that like things are just kind of happening and falling into place for her. She can talk to all the wildlife, right, and all the rats in the subway.
There's like cartoony magic where like if she starts singing, everyone around her knows the song that's happening.
The joke a couple times where she's like, and I have nothing to wear, and then like the next scene is like she has a new dress on, and there's a perfect cutout from either the curtains or the rug or whatever of the dress.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Like that was pretty funny.
I like
it's
that.
Like it's like this charm of like, oh, like things are just happening for her. She's almost like magic, but in like a cartoon magic sort of way, not in like a magic witch sort of way like the other, like Susan Sarandon's character. I don't know. It was really silly.
It was really silly, and I wouldn't say it was a great movie, but I enjoyed it enough. Like I think James Marsden, like Prince Charming voice was like really spot on.
Yeah, it was.
It was like almost too charming.
He also like looks like Prince Charming with the hair flip and shit. Like
Can I tell you?
He's dead on.
What is this? Is after X3, right? This is after The Last Stand,
the third X-Men
and Superman or whatever. He looks like a baby in this.
I forgot he was in that Superman movie. That was also those were both 2006.
Right. He like left X3 to like go do Superman.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was like a huge thing.
Huh.
That's why he was like barely in X3.
Yeah, he does look really young. I mean,
he looks like a baby.
He's just like super clean shaven.
But like him and Amy Adams also, great pipes. They sound great.
They both. I think those were their voices.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, they both sang. I mean, Amy Adams and like especially the musical number in Central Park with like the everyone joining the "How do you know that he loves you?" Like I actually like didn't hate that song. It went on for a little long.
It went on for a long. It
felt like it was
time.
8 minutes. It was probably 3 minutes,
right.
but like. She was good. She was really good.
During that montage, they go back to the exact same spot in Central Park that we've seen in both. Oh man,
can you do it?
Yeah, I can. In
Made in Manhattan.
Made in Manhattan, and the other woman.
It's the same strip.
It's that long stretch of sidewalk.
Yeah. We've been
there. There's got to be a name for it, and
I'm sure
could not know what
concourse or something. I don't know, but it's that's the third movie now that we've watched that's had the same stroll through the same section of Central Park, and it's like beautiful. Like
it's picturesque.
You get why they do it
right.
every single one of these movies, but it's like kind of hysterical that that's the.
Anytime you go to New York, you got to go to that one spot.
Yeah, for sure. What else do I have here? I have the Chipmunk. I love the Chipmunk. The Chipmunk who has like kind of like a Brooklyn accent in the cartoon world, but then as soon as he comes to the real world, he can't speak at all. And him acting shit out was really fucking funny. I thought
it was
like him trying to act out the poison apple and like only Amy Adams and James Marsden could like understand what he was trying to convey. It's pretty good.
But again, in the pizza restaurant when Wormtail's acting like the Italian guy, he like throws the pizza that's supposed to have the. What? You look like you're going to say something.
I was going to say, okie dokie.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
He throws the pizza that's supposed to have the chipmunk into the pizza oven, and it just immediately ignites on fire, and everyone in the restaurant's like, "You killed it!" Ah!
Yeah, there's a point where the chipmunk's trying to warn her when she's eating dinner with McDreamy in an Italian restaurant.
Right.
And Wormtail's trying to stop the chipmunk from like warning her. I did think that it was ridiculous that the pizza exploded as though he threw dynamite into that stove.
Right. Also, the stove had a big, stupid, like, golem face on it. It was like a goblin. Did you not notice that?
No, I didn't notice that at all.
It had some weird face.
And then, everyone in the restaurant was like,
explosions.
You made it dead.
You killed that thing in a fire.
Yeah, no, it was a lot. Oh, and the funniest thing immediately following that was that she was immediately on the news.
Right.
Like James Marsden, Prince Charming's like in a hotel room flipping around the channels, like doesn't know what to do or where to look for her. And then like immediately after this Italian restaurant scene happens, she's just on the news. Of course, just because she is. Just because of course she is. I have How Does She Know You music number, super cute. Central Park again, super beautiful. Same spot in Central Park. We covered all of that. She's just on the news? Question mark? What? Oh, I also really like that she throughout the whole movie she kind of just references all these other like fairy tales and fairy tale princesses alike.
Yeah, she mentions like Red Riding Hood and the wolf, and she like sympathizes with the wolf, which I thought was weird.
So the chipmunk's name is Pip.
Pip.
And she's like, and Pip saved the wolf from that grandma who had a shotgun.
Yeah, or something, or an axe or something.
Yeah, and the little girl's like, I don't remember it that way. And she's like, oh, well, Red did have a flair for the dramatic. And I was like, oh, that's kind of fucking funny that she's just like, because she mentions like the dwarves and she mentions like, I don't know. It's all kind of sprinkled throughout, which I thought was pretty funny. Right. It was one of a million things that kept the movie so fucking light. That was actually what I liked about it. The whole time it was super, super light.
Yeah, but to its own detriment, maybe? I don't know. There was nothing that really, like, hooked me into the movie.
Yeah.
We were, like you said at the beginning, like, towards the end, I was just kind of done. Like, I know that it was, like, the crux of the movie, like, and, like, there's a twist where instead of capturing Amy Adams, they capture Patrick Dempsey, and Amy has to be the heroine or whatever, the hero.
She doesn't do heroin, Matt.
She might do heroin.
She's not doing heroin.
Why do you think the next movie is called Disenchanted? She does so much heroin
That she
after
becomes
this.
disenchanted. That's actually like
pretty good.
Good job, dude.
Hey, let's write a script. Sorry for everyone.
Spec script. Yeah. So I mean, I would agree. I think the movie was about 15 minutes too long towards the end. The culmination of the movie, though, like I said earlier, you don't really know what's like if she's going to end up with him, especially once they introduce his daughter, because you're like, oh, you think she's going to go back to maybe the cartoon world. We'll get to it.
You're just silent.
And you realize that like, oh, he has a daughter. There's nowhere that they're gonna bring his like a child back to the cartoon world to like live
Garrett.
happily ever after. Nope, we're gonna get to it. We'll cover the bet at the end.
Okay.
So, it's only in the last 10-15 minutes that like this second you realize what's gonna happen. It's incredibly obvious, and then there's 10 minutes left.
Right.
The movie kind of culminates at the Prince Charming character, James Marsden character, whatever, comes and finds her finally, and you know he's like gonna take her away. He's gonna go back to the cartoon world with her, or whatever. And she's like, "Oh, can't we hang out for a little bit longer?"
And go on a date.
Right, because
Which she's
Patrick
learned
Dempsey,
from,
Patrick Dempsey, Dump City has like emphasized that like sometimes you go on a date and you learn to get to know somebody. You know, you
don't just rush into things, kids.
I mean, that was the message.
Kind of.
So she takes James Marsden out on a date, and they like go see the sights and shit or whatever else.
And they don't have a bad time.
No,
it seems like
they're getting along, but it seems like she's hungering for more, and he's like, "Well, when are we gonna go back, and you'll be my wife forever?"
Right.
Like, and then that'll be it forever. And then she basically asked him to go to this ball that they peppered in earlier, that there was like some
very kind of
some ridiculous like king and queen ball. And then she's gonna go with him, right? So and then like that ball is like the I guess the climax of the movie. And and it's funny. I just wrote down, "Oh, we lucked out. It's costume ball week." Like,
there just so happens to be this costume royal ball that would fit this thematically perfectly.
In ridiculous powdered wigs with like festooned like fucking.
Big shoulder
pads and gowns, and I thought we would
fit right in.
It's hilarious, but so she like wants him to take her to that. So then they go to that, and they walk in, and who's there but Dump City, Patrick Dempsey, with like no mention that he was going or that he was going with his prospective fiance. There was never a point where he says never. He's just there,
right?
Which of fucking course he is
with Idina Menzel.
I never got her character name.
I didn't either, actually.
She honestly wasn't that big part. She's probably in 10 minutes.
I also think it's hysterical because this is like a musical comedy movie, and like she is a big like Broadway star, and she doesn't sing a fucking note in this entire thing.
Yeah,
which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, without her being the star, though, I mean, like she would have like maybe just.
Isn't she Frozen? Is she Frozen? Is she part of Frozen?
I think so. I don't know.
Okay.
But Amy Adams shows up, and she's all excited that he's there, but she's there with James Marsden, and then like they go to dance, and just as they're about to dance, the other like really ridiculous thing the last 10 minutes is like the band maestro gets up and he's like, and now I'd like to invite everyone to dance with a person they didn't come with.
Why? The answer
for no reason.
The question is
for no
why?
For like just do this waltz with a person you didn't come with. So it's just like, I don't know, it just shoehorns this excuse for her to dance with Patrick Dempsey and for James Marsden to dance with his perspective, that Patrick Dempsey's fiance,
Idina Menzel.
Which we again, the second you start to see this happening, you're like, oh, James Marsden's going to end up with his fiance and Amy Adams is going to end up with Patrick Dempsey.
And everyone will live happily ever after.
And then they dance, and I think that's the moment they fall in love, but it like isn't really clear that they're going to fall in love until like the dance, which is again the last. Well,
it's also the moment where, because earlier in the movie he says, I don't sing and I don't dance, and then while they're dancing,
yeah, she's like, I thought you said you couldn't dance. He's like, I said I don't, not that I couldn't.
But he also like starts singing to her in that moment.
Oh, is he singing?
Yeah, he like kind of under his breath starts singing to her as well.
Yeah, see, I was kind of like tapping out.
Yeah, me too, bud.
So then...
Tapping out, browning out.
While they're there, the evil stepmother or whatever comes to the real world, and then she goes to track them down at this dance.
Yeah.
And she somehow gets Amy Adams away for a moment and gives her the poison apple.
Yeah, it was kind of shoehorned in there. I don't know.
It was just fun. Like, you think, like, people have been trying to give me apples, like, all week. Like, this is weird. Yeah, I'll eat this one. Like, come on, you guys.
One of my favorite things was when I hate you. When Wormtail is trying to give her like the apple martini.
Yeah.
And Dempsey's like, watch out, it's poison. I was like, it is poison. Alcohol is poison.
It is poison. And then everyone kind of giggles, and he's like, no, but seriously, they'll catch up on you.
Yeah, they'll get you.
I mean, they will. An apple tini?
Sure.
Ooh.
Hey.
Ooh. Ooh. Not for me, though.
Just the sugar. It'll get you in the morning.
But
a headache.
Nothing's worse than a sugar hangover.
Yeah, I agree.
What did we drink? Oh, the Mai Tais.
The Mai Tais.
Oh, man, I died the next morning.
I was in a bad way.
It was a bad place all day. Anyway, so it culminates with this fucking dance, and she gets her to eat the poison apple, and then she's dying, and if she doesn't get cured by midnight, she's like going to be asleep forever.
By, of course, True Love's Kiss.
Right, so then they recall the whole True Love's Kiss thing, and Matt called this 5 minutes before it happened, as he normally does when we're watching these things. And he's like,
very smart.
James Marsden's going to kiss her and nothing's going to happen. And then boom, James Marsden kisses her and nothing happens.
But then he's also weirdly okay. He was like, no. Hey, and you do it.
Yeah, they immediately just like, yeah, I think that's like one of the things maybe we kind of lose it at the end. There was no drama to that. Right. It wasn't like, oh, I guess she doesn't love me. It was just assumed that if it wasn't him, it was Patrick Dempsey.
And then he looks to his like fiance, and the fiance is like, it's okay. Is it?
Like,
why is it okay?
Hey, go for it. Kiss that stranger on the mouth.
Exactly.
Hey, mouth kiss her.
Speaking of stranger on the mouth, hey, and I'm sorry.
Just get her.
It's just even the beginning of the movie where he finds her on this fucking...
And he just brings her home.
Yeah.
Just brings her home.
You find this woman scratching at a goddamn...
It's one thing to save a stranger. Because he seems like she's going to fall, and he catches her right in the beginning.
Stranger, you call the cops, call an ambulance or something, take them to the hospital. Don't take them to your home. You never take them to your home.
Immediately, with your 6-year-old child, hey, possible serial killer, psycho murderer.
This will be fine.
Just come on back. No, my daughter, she sleeps in that bedroom.
Don't go in that bedroom.
Don't kill her. Or me. I sleep in there.
Do you want to use the shower, though? That's okay.
Yeah, it was fucking weird.
It was weird.
That was really
weird. That put me off a little bit.
It's funny. I think I thought it was weird in the moment. It was just like,
it's fine.
Let's see how this plays out. Yeah. So whatever. So then, Patrick Dempsey kisses her at the end, and boom, she wakes up, and that's it. And then, like, I was positive that was the end of the movie. And then Susan Sarandon turns into a dragon.
Yeah.
And steals him away.
I tell you what, didn't see it coming.
I definitely didn't see her turning into a dragon coming in this movie. And let me tell you,
the CGI, not great.
It wasn't, like, embarrassing, but it wasn't good. I mean, especially for, like, 12 years ago.
Well, let's talk about that, too, because, like, the animation for, like, being a Disney movie wasn't as polished as, like, a Disney movie's animation generally is.
I kept saying it was, like, Emperor's New Groove. Yeah, or like Disney's Hercules. It was like on par with like those.
Sure, but I'm not saying that the animation like wasn't like smooth or whatever. It seemed unpolished. Like it wasn't like, it doesn't have that crisp Disney look to it to me. And I guess it's because the movie is majority
Yeah.
a live action movie.
Yeah, I kind of forgave that because of that. Because
Right.
like it's 15% of the movie maybe that we
Right.
see them.
That's fair, and I agree. It was just one of those things that I was just like, oh, this is Disney. They're not trying their hardest.
But then I thought the CGI was fine, and it's also it's over a decade ago, you know.
Sure.
It's like, but yeah, Susan Sarandon turned into a dragon. Totally blindsided by that.
Wow.
Really.
Wow.
Just, and I think she like her whole thing is like, well, if I can't be happy, no one can. Which at this point, it's very apparent that she is not going after James Marsden anymore. It's very apparent that she's in love with Patrick Dempsey, right?
I thought
So what is Susan Sarandon's issue?
We're talking about Amy Adams is in love with Patrick.
Yeah. So at this point, it seems like it's very clear that Amy Adams is in love with Patrick Dempsey and not with James Marsden, which is what Susan Sarandon's been trying to stop the whole time.
Can I tell you? Now that this is like you brought this up just now,
just blew your mind.
You just blew my mind.
I know.
I feel like you just blew your own mind.
I did. It just struck me also. But I'm realizing like she's been trying to stop him. Oh. Well, mission accomplished.
Right, done.
And she's still so mad.
She's just
mad. I don't think it explains why she's still so mad.
She climbs up on this mythical building that doesn't exist in New York.
So she steals Patrick Dempsey in her giant
instead of Amy Adams.
CGI dragon claw instead of Amy Adams and climbs up the building with him in sort of like, if I can't be happy, no one can be happy. But again, why the fuck can't you?
Why do you
got what you want.
Just go home.
You got what you want, lady.
Yeah, you got this.
So she climbs up the building and
I feel like her entire like premise, like the entire plot of the movie would just be like over if she just, killed her stepson. Like, forget Amy Adams, forget all this other stuff. Just kill her stepson.
See, again, I think she might have been in love with him. It's not clear.
It doesn't
let you know what
it's
what
either
she really
she's
wants.
in love with him or she's trying to like cement her power by like not letting him get married to someone else.
Maybe it's both.
Yeah, a little column A, a little column B. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
So she just loves how much she wants to kill him. So
yeah, that's a thing, I guess.
I don't know. I have no idea. But she climbs up this building, and as soon as she's climbing up this building, it like shows the rest of the city skyline, and we're like, oh, this is a place that does not exist. And she goes up to the top of the building, and Amy Adams, and it's actually kind of cool because the whole time Amy Adams has played kind of like this stereotypical like princess character, right? And she's been slowly
the dum like
well, just like naive, like
right,
she's like a naive kind of like especially like in the real world because it's like not everyone's shitty in the real world, and she's used to everyone being so nice, and
she doesn't understand what anger is when she experiences anger.
Yeah, she doesn't know what anger is.
She gets really excited that she experiences anger.
Exactly. So it's actually like a pretty big reversal then that it's like she sees the sword sitting there and she grabs it and then it's like, oh shit, she's the knight. Like she's the knight in shining armor here. Like she's going to go rescue Dumpsey from the clutches of this evil Sarandon dragon.
Just call him Dumpsey forever now.
Yes.
Forever. Yes.
But she's going to arrest him from Sarandon dragon. And
Sarandragon.
Sarandragon.
Yeah, we're having a hard time.
Susan Sandragon.
Sandragon.
But she, and that's kind of cool. But it's another thing that like it didn't make sense at the end because like the chipmunk gets free and then the chipmunk somehow helps her defeat the dragon by nibbling the dragon or something.
I gotta tell you, I really tuned out.
But it didn't make sense. I was watching it; it didn't really make sense. And then she kind of just like. The Sarandon dragon drops Dumpsey, and Amy Adams throws the sword and like saves him by like
catching his sleeve,
throwing a dart and catching him by the sleeve sword and sword sleeve.
Meanwhile, anytime in real life, that's going straight through his fucking arm.
I was just when it happened, I was like, imagine it just went through his hand. Never forgives her.
Yeah.
Like, saved his life, but also, like, never forgives her.
You should go home.
You should go back to cartoon land. So, yeah, and then the dragon just, like, falls off the tower and then falls to the ground and just, like, explodes into magic dust. And that's the end of the fight.
And kind of the movie, too.
Yeah, and then it's kind of like happily ever after montage where you see...
Right, it's all over, like, the end credits.
Yeah.
Which is like, well, all right, I guess...
Did Wormtail find happiness?
Wormtail got a book deal as like I'm in love with like a bad person kind of thing. Like you see him like signing books in the real world.
Oh, he stayed in the real world.
Yeah, he stays in the real world.
Oh wow. Okay, so then James Marsden ends up with Dumpsey's former almost fiance, and she goes back to the cartoon world with him.
Right. But who doesn't go back to the cartoon world, Garrett?
Matt has been dying to get to this. Guys, if you've listened this long, Matt won the bet.
Again!
Matt won the bet again. At the end of the movie, she stays in the real world with Patrick Dumpsey.
And his daughter.
And we knew this was going to happen pretty much the second we saw that he had a daughter.
Right.
Because
they
were going to drag a 6-year-old back to the cartoon world.
The second the daughter comes on the screen, Garrett just goes, I've lost this.
Fuck. Yeah, done. So Matt won the bet.
I really did.
So he's going to play the next movie.
I'll try and do better than this one, I promise. It was fine.
It was fine. It's probably in the bottom half of my list, but it's not
let's talk about it. Where in the bottom half of your list is it?
Okay. So, I would say this movie, for me, falls between 13 Going on 30 and Spice World. So, I will enumerate my list one by one again, all right?
Okay, go.
So, my number one remains now from last week, While You Were Sleeping. That's, still the best movie on this list.
Still blown away by that.
Then Devil Wears Prada. Then Pretty Woman, number 3. Clueless is number 4. The Other Woman is number 5. 13 Going on 30 is 6. Then, I would put this movie, Enchanted, as number 7.
Okay.
Then Spice World 8, Crossroads 9, What Women Want 10, and Made in Manhattan for sure 11. Made in Manhattan will forever be at the bottom, I think.
I really think it will be.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you.
Yeah. It's just
so lackluster. For me,
isn't that funny that you'd rather have something to hate than not have anything to pay attention to?
For sure.
I honestly I hated What Women Want,
but it kept your attention the whole time because you were like, "What the fuck is next?
Yeah.
What could you possibly do now?
Stupid thing is happening right now." And then Made in Manhattan, the whole time.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
We just kind of walked away from the screen a couple times.
Yeah, if you had to pee, there was no pause.
Right.
It wasn't hey, pause it for a second. It was no, I know what's gonna happen.
I got it. Don't worry about it.
I know what nothing is gonna happen. I'll be fine. Where do you put this?
Also bottom of my list, but a little bit different. So it's Devil Wears Prada 1, Pretty Woman 2, The Other Woman 3, While You Were Sleeping 4. Oh, excuse me. 5 would be, what did I say? I think it was. I've lost my place.
I hate you.
I hate
you for what you're doing.
What are you being mean for? 5 would be Spice World. 6 would be Clueless.
Interesting.
7 would be 13 Going on 30. 8 would now be Enchanted, which would put 9 Crossroads, 10 What Women Want, and 11 Made in Manhattan.
So our bottom 3 are staying solid, same as each other.
They're pretty bad.
Yeah, but we dislike them, I think, the same amount and for the same reasons.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you have a favorite character in this movie?
Yeah, you know who my favorite character in this movie was? Marsden. Because, he was not a bad guy. Mm-hmm. He was, totally, I don't know, he was just funny. He nailed the Prince Charming voice. He was trying to be the good guy the entire time, and he was just kind of dumb.
I did like Marsden a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
I thought Amy Adams also. I thought she was great.
I thought she nails the kind of cartoony vibe that she's going for,
and she nails that naivety of I was a cartoon, but people are terrible here. She nails that. And that's cool. I still think my favorite character though is Wormwood. I think Wormtail. Sorry, I think Wormtail is my favorite character.
Yeah,
he just made me laugh a bunch. He was silly, and he had an arc. He started off as Marsden's, crony or whatever. Right. And then he was you find out he was really the evil witch's crony, right. And he was doing her bidding. And he was, he was the antagonist throughout a lot of it. And then at the end, but
being in the real world, he sees all these TV shows and radio shows where he's I am being taken advantage of.
Yeah, exactly. There's an arc there. And he realizes that she's a monster, and then he helps them against her.
Right, I actually thought that was a really weird turn that I didn't see coming. That was
one of the only things I didn't see coming. Yeah. I agree. And the voices. When he's in the park, nice lady.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
And then the okie dokie.
Who's your least favorite character?
Oh, Dumpsey.
Yeah. So much Dumpsey.
Yeah, dude, he's got an asshole face.
He's got asshole.
We've covered this already.
I know. I'm just saying. It makes me so mad.
Soundtrack, there wasn't really much to work with there. I mean, there was a soundtrack in the sense that they, they sang a couple musical numbers.
Sure.
There's the song they danced to at the ball.
It was John.
It's called "So Close" by John McLaughlin.
Right.
I had never heard it before. It was actually a nice song. It was a sweet song.
Yeah, it was nice. I could see dancing with someone to that.
Yeah. But nothing else about that movie. I mean, about the soundtrack stood out. Like, nothing really at all. I don't know. Would you recommend it?
Depends on the context, honestly. Like, if someone was looking for, like, a family movie to watch, sure. Because, like, this is something that, like, adults can enjoy while kids also enjoy it on a different level.
Yeah.
But, like, for the most part, like, to, like, any other person, it was fine.
And it's, like, a cute-ish love story. Holy shit. I'm looking
sorry,
at the same thing that you're looking at. Hold on.
We literally just pulled up the Rotten Tomato scores, and we're both blown away by this.
I'm actually very legitimately blown away. Before we do the Rotten Tomatoes, I agree with you. It depends on like what people are looking for.
Right.
I wouldn't not recommend it. If someone's like, "Oh, I'm going to watch Enchanted," I'd be like, "Don't waste your time."
Right.
You know, it was fine. It was entertaining.
Okay, yeah.
It kept me. I laughed a couple times. It was a cute love story. Like it was like a cute rom-com with a fairy tale backdrop.
I still hold that it was very medium though. Like everything was pretty. Nothing like blew me away, and nothing like made me like upset. Like oh, this is stupid. I don't want to watch this. It was just very middle of the road.
Very even. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was fine. So how do critics feel about it, dude?
This is way better than we did.
So critics score on Rotten Tomatoes is
93%.
Holy shit! That's what me and Matt just yelled "holy shit" about at the same time. I'm actually flabbergasted by that. I'm actually
bamboozled.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
90. I mean, again, I don't like maybe 70. I could see you getting like a 70.
It's insane.
Maybe 93 critics.
That's insane.
It actually has a lower audience score, which I feel like you don't see that as much. I feel like you usually see audiences higher, right?
Critics are very judgmental, and audience generally give it a
Clearly
little more
not with
leeway.
Enchanted.
Well, the audience score was 80%, which is
that's
still really good.
Really good. I think that's more. The audience score I'm less blown away by because people could really love this movie and I didn't dislike it.
Right.
Fine. 93 critic score is insane.
It's insane.
Oh my god. All right. Well, strong disagree there, I guess. But
do you think this died?
I've seen this on TV.
Have you?
I've seen it on TV. Yeah, like in passing, like on like USA and shit. I've definitely seen it on TV. And like I don't think it needs to. I don't think there's anything like
there's nothing wrong with it.
Shitty or flat about it. I just think it's like kind of like a cute. It actually is kind of like it's on TV. You leave it on in the background while you're doing laundry sort of movie.
Okay.
Like,
yeah,
right?
I would agree with that.
Like
no.
I think that's
you don't
totally
really
fair.
have to pay attention to it to like understand what's happening in it.
No,
right.
It's like pretty. I mean, for as many times as we kind of tuned out, especially towards the end, like we never like lost it. We're like, oh wait, we got to go back.
Please rewind.
The depth.
Well, there was only one time. Oh, we only rewound at the very beginning when Garrett was in the kitchen getting a beer, and I was just like, oh. He's like, is this Disney movie?
And
I was like, I had no idea.
And it is a Disney movie.
It was a Disney movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, we did not notice the Disney princesses in the movie at all.
Oh, right. They're like the cameos of the actresses, the voice actresses, right?
They didn't make us think about it.
Can I tell you?
Sure.
The only things I think like about the movie that stood out as things that I was like, why? Is Andalasia as the name of the fairyland. I don't know why I thought that was so lame, but I thought that was the lamest name.
That's weird.
And Giselle. She doesn't look like a Giselle.
She could. Well, to suppose, again, in the trivia, this is not something I read out just because it seemed pointless. Inconsequential, sure. Yeah. Is that Giselle was originally supposed to be blonde? Would that have changed?
I don't know that that's a Giselle.
Yeah.
I don't think I mean, again, like if your name is Giselle, I apologize. But like
the model Giselle it's got blonde hair. Maybe I thought maybe that might like.
Maybe that's what I like is in my head. But like, no, I don't even think it's not that she doesn't look like a Giselle. It's that like I don't like Giselle doesn't evoke like a Disney princess sort of
okay
like feeling for me.
I get that.
You know?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. That's really all I have on this movie. It was good.
It was fine.
It was good. I definitely nothing to dislike at all. It was good.
It's funny because the more movies we do, the more like I'm completely okay with them, and like the bad ones just kind of get shoved to the bottom.
Yeah, I think Did you try to pick one that like we would like this week, or do you just kind of like went off the list?
If I'm being completely honest,
yeah.
It was a last minute decision.
Yeah, you just kind of like Googled like lists of like these like top movies in the genre, and you kind of like.
I literally pulled up a chick flick movie list, and I did a scroll.
Yeah.
And I just like let it land where it landed.
It was good.
It wasn't bad.
Maybe just don't torture me next week. Continue the this train.
No, it's gonna be bad. No, I'm kidding. I have no idea. It might be. You know what? We haven't really done a sad one. Should we do a sad one?
I think we're due for a sad one,
I
but
think we're due for a sad one. We're gonna try and do a sad one.
oh god. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening. I think that was it
Yeah, I think
for
that's
this episode. If you want to contact us even a little bit, DrunkGuysonChickFlicks@gmail.com, at DGOCF on Twitter, DrunkGuysonChickFlicks on Instagram. There's a Facebook, but fuck Facebook. And I mean, rate and review on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, whatever you want.
Tell a friend.
Tell a friend. For the love of God.
For the love of God.
A couple of minutes of the past hour were kind of funny, maybe.
We had fun.
We had fun at least.
We like to have fun.
Hello?
Please.
All right. Anyway, thanks a lot, and we'll see you next week.